Hi, welcome to Reading with Ms. Momo and Storytime with Ms. Momo. I'm so glad you could join us today. School is about to start, and always, for my 32 years on the first day of school, I read a book named Chrysanthemum. These are actually chrysanthemum flowers, but the book is about a little mouse named Chrysanthemum and about how important names are. I want you to listen to this story. Some of you might have this book at home or might have heard this story before, but join me as I read it to you today, okay? Chrysanthemum by Kevin Hinks. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. I bet your parents think you're perfect too, don't they? Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name must be absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew, and when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. Do you love your name? She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. She loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written on ink and on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on her birthday cake. She loved the way it looked when she wrote it herself with her fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. She loved her name. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect, and then she started to school. On the first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. She ran all the way. Hooray, said Chrysanthemum. School! And look, she's so excited. But when Miss Chud took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name, and they're all laughing at her name. That's not very nice, is it? They weren't being very kind. It's so long, said Joe. It scarcely fits on your name tag, said Rita, pointing. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. You're named after a flower. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Miss Chud that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet, Victoria explained. Thank you for sharing with us, Victoria, said Miss Chud. Now put your head down. Victoria was not being a very nice friend, was she? If I had a name like yours, I would change it, Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Welcome home, said her mother. Welcome home, said her father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It scarcely fits on my name tag, and I'm named after a flower. Oh, pish, said her mother. Your name is beautiful and precious and priceless and fascinating and winsome, said her father. It's everything you are, said her mother. Absolutely perfect, said her father. Bless her heart, she's crying. She's so sad. And she heard everything they said, didn't she? And it hurt her really bad. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner of macaroni and cheese with ketchup, and an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. Her parents made it a special night for her. That was nice. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. Chrysanthemum, 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 she wrote. She even looks like a flower, said Victoria, as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. Let's pick her, said Rita, pointing. Let's smell her, said Joe. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. Those girls are not being kind. They're being mean girls. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things." "Thank you for sharing with us, Victoria," said Miss Chudd. "Now put your head down." "I just cannot believe your name," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "Neither can I," thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Victoria just keeps on. She won't let it go, will she? "Welcome home," said her mother. "Welcome home," said her father. "School is no place for me," said Chrysanthemum. "They said I even look like a flower. They pretended to pick me and smell me." "Oh, pish," said her mother. "They're just jealous and envious and begrudging and discontented and jaundiced," said her father. "Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours?" said her mother. "After all, it's absolutely perfect," said her father. Chrysanthemum felt a trifle better after her favorite dessert of chocolate cake with buttercream frosting and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. Her parents are very supportive and loving, aren't they? I'm so glad she has love at home. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that she really was a chrysanthemum. She sprouted leaves and petals. Victoria picked her and plucked the leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. Chrysanthemum wore her outfit with 7 pockets the next morning, and she loaded the pockets with her most prized possessions and her good luck charms. Chrysanthemum took the longest route possible to school. She stopped and stared at each and every flower. "Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum," the flowers seemed to say. That morning, the students were introduced to Miss Twinkle, the music teacher. Her voice was something like out of a dream. It was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Miss Twinkle was indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. Miss Twinkle led the students in scales. Then she assigned roles for the classical musical. Victoria was chosen to be the dainty fairy queen. Rita was chosen to be the spiffy butterfly princess. Joe was chosen to be all-important pixie messenger, and Chrysanthemum was chosen to be a daisy. "Chrysanthemum's a daisy, chrysanthemum's a daisy," Joe, Rita, and Victoria chanted, thinking it was wildly funny. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. "What's so humorous?" asked Miss Twinkle. "Chrysanthemum," was the answer. "Her name is so long," said Joe. "It scarcely fits on her name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria, "and she's named after a flower." Continues to be rude and mean. "My name is long," said Miss Twinkle. "It is?" said Joe. "My name would scarcely fit on a name tag," said Miss Twinkle. "It would?" said Rita, pointing. "And," said Miss Twinkle, "I'm named after a flower, too." "You are?" said Victoria. "Yes," said Miss Twinkle. "My name is Delphinium. Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I'm considering Chrysanthemum as the name. I think it's absolutely perfect." Chrysanthemum could scarcely believe her ears. She blushed, she beamed, she bloomed. "Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum." She was happy now, wasn't she? The teacher made her feel good and feel happy. Joe, Rita, and Victoria looked at Chrysanthemum longingly. "Call me Marigold," said Joe. "I'm a carnation," said Rita, pointing. "My name is Lily of the Valley," said Victoria. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She knew it. And look at her, she's dancing off into the sunset, into the rainbows. Overall, the classical music was a huge success. Chrysanthemum was absolutely perfect as a daisy. Victoria made the only mistake. She completely forgot her lines as the dainty fairy queen. Chrysanthemum thought it was wildly funny, and she giggled throughout the entire dance of the flowers. Eventually, Miss Twinkle gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and of course, she named her Chrysanthemum. You know, the first day of school, we all learn each other's names, and we might play some name games, and we might take our names and put an adjective by each letter. There are all kind of things you can do that are fun with your names. One of my favorites is, my last name is Greer, and I love the name game when you go Greer, Greer, Bobeer, Fanana, Fana, Fofir, Fee, Fi, Momir, Greer. Do that with your name. Names can be fun. Names tell who you are, and it's your identity. People will call you by your name and you'll listen. When your parents are mad, they call you by all three of your names. Names are very important, but the main name that we all are children of God. Until we meet again, have a great school year. Smile and be happy, and God bless.